It's a problem facing small cities across Pennsylvania. How to cope with rising crime. Pennsylvania's top crime fighter comes to our area to help work on solutions. Our top story on News 13 at 4:30.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Well, you see it in Hazleton and in small towns all across northeastern Pennsylvania. Violent crime is increasing and a study about to be released bears that out. Matthew Petrillo with a rundown on the factors contributing to that increase and what might stem it.
I think we have to activate parents to be accountable.
Parental accountability, more neighborhood security cameras, more funding for after-school programs. These were just some of the ideas that members from the Senate Democratic Policy Committee came up with to fight back against the growing amount of violent crime in Pennsylvania.
We need to be reactive, yes, but we also need to be proactive.
Attorney General Kathleen Kane says the state could be doing a much better job at fighting the so-called war on drugs.
Eventually, we want it to be known that, you know what, it is not worth doing business here in Pennsylvania. Right now it is. The drugs are cheaper, they're pure, and we have a market for it.
The consensus was that drugs lead to gangs, which leads to violent crime. Senator John Udachak says gangs start from big cities like New York and Philadelphia and trickle down into smaller cities like Hazleton.
We knew what was going on with the drug trafficking in Hazleton in the mid-2000s to early 2000s. But those outside of Hazleton looked as, well, that's Hazleton's problem. Well, by 2010, that became Wilkes-Barre's problem, Kingston, the greater Wyoming Valley.
Still, not all violent crimes have been on the rise. In the last decade in Luzerne County, murders have almost been cut in half, from 23 to 12, and rape has decreased from 59 to 55. But more prevalent violent crimes have been on the rise. Robberies shot up from 180 to 273, and aggravated assaults went up from 434 to 683. Those numbers aren't a surprise to Hazleton Chief of Police Frank DeAndrea.
There's a huge portion of the economic climate that is absolutely reflected by crime.
But DeAndrea says his office plans to get more creative, even with tighter budgets.
There are solutions out there that don't necessarily always take money. Sometimes it's finding the people that want to be involved. It's finding the people that want to listen. It's figuring out, what the solution will be. It's not always funding.
And Hazleton police have released the ID on a suspect they believe was shot by a homeowner during a burglary attempt over the weekend. Police say he's 26-year-old Zachary D'Angelo of Freeland. Police say he was in a home on Hay Street when the owner came home. Now, the owner, who's licensed to carry a handgun, called police, then confronted D'Angelo and told him to leave several times and then shot him in the pelvis area. He's in stable condition in the hospital. D'Angelo tried to run from the home but was tracked down by police. Investigators are still piecing together what happened and haven't filed any charges. Well, they say with cooperation, you can do anything, and that was the case with a series of fires in Greater Hazleton last night. As Stephanie Gorney reports, officials say the new firefighting agreement between the city and West Hazleton means responders and residents are safer.
The intermunicipal fire agreement between the Hazleton City and West Hazleton Fire Departments was exhibited on Monday evening. The first assist under the agreement came from Hazleton City when they provided help to a fire in a double-block home on 3rd Street in West Hazleton.
Crews made a really good hit on the fire. We had reports of possible entrapment. The initial search proved nothing. It turned out it was just people that were yelling from a nearby house about there was a fire.
The confirmation of a working fire prompted fire crews to bring in Hazleton City crews along with crews from surrounding companies. Directly after extinguishing that fire, Hazleton City was directed to another fire taking place on their own turf. Firefighters responded to reports of smoke coming from a home on Fulton Court.
It was 2.5-story single-family home with smoke showing from the second story of the residence. Initially, upon arrival, found a house was condemned. There was a condemned placard on the structure.
The West Hazleton firefighters were able to reciprocate the help that Hazleton City provided earlier by responding to this reported fire. In just several minutes, the two fire departments were able to display the good that will come out of this agreement, and Chief Leschko could not be happier with the results of it.
The agreement did work as it intended to work. We assisted West Hazleton, they assisted us. And most importantly, you know, it's about the efficient operation and most efficient delivery of fire protection. And I think that was, I think that could be shown by both communities today. That the agreement is working. The agreement has worked, you know, so far. I'm very pleased with the agreement.
Both fires are currently under investigation by state fire officials, and one firefighter suffered a minor foot injury. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
Well, he's drawn fire to this point for not taking a stand, but now Senator Bob Casey coming out in favor of same-sex marriage, citing heartfelt letters from individuals already in committed same-sex relationships, as well as their families. Casey is now saying he's in favor of same-sex marriage and will vote to repeal the federal law that bans it if it does come to a vote. While Casey has always supported same-sex civil unions, he said that deep thought and reflection over the Easter holiday and input from those in committed same-sex relationships convinced him to support the marriage option. In a statement, Casey said that at a time when traditional marriages are failing at an alarming rate, Casey wrote, "If two people of the same sex fall in love and want to marry, why would our government stand in their way?" Now, Casey's stand brought about a response from Bishop Joseph Bambera today, saying that Senator Casey has unfortunately and disappointingly set aside the Catholic belief and teaching that the sacrament of marriage, rooted in natural law, is a faithful, exclusive, lifelong, loving union of a man and a woman open to the transmission of human life. Well, music is a universal way to communicate, but for non-English speaking residents, finding a radio station can be tough. As Christina Papa tells us, that's why some DJs from our area have come together to create the only bilingual radio station streaming from Hazleton.
There's a new radio station coming to town, and by next week, they should be streaming live on the internet.
Claro que mi gente, estamos aquí en Radiozona Segreta.com. Este es DJ exclusivo.
Y yo soy Juan Carlos, la super diferencia.
Misteri. Y inglés.
It's your boy DJ V12. We here.
We here.
You can call it the secret radio zone, but DJ Juan Abreu says it a little differently.
Radiozonasegreta.com, tu estación sin fronteras.
DJ Jose Francisco says Radiozona Segreta is something this area has been asking for. It's a Spanish and English radio station streaming right here in Hazleton.
Well, it's very important basically because, like I said, the Latin community unfortunately doesn't have their own frequency. And basically everything is about music and talk stuff, entertainment. So we're trying to give that to them.
Jose says finding music is tough around here and most folks have to buy CDs for their cars.
You know, for our Hispanics, it's kind of hard because we want to be entertained. So we have to go and buy that CD, spend that $5, $8 on the CD.
The DJs plan to have discussion at their round table where they'll also talk about special events, weather, and breaking news. And although the studio may be small, some professionals inside have been DJing for over 25 years.
Tengo 25 años de experiencia.
Juan says he's been DJing in the Dominican Republic for 25 years and plans to bring his expertise to the table. Listeners who plan to tune in will hear a variety of beats, including merengue, salsa, rock, hip-hop, and maybe even a little country. Jose hopes this will open the lines of communication between English and Spanish speakers and will help the community come closer together.
So we're trying to do something different, have our people at least tune in via internet so we could keep in touch with them and they could keep in touch with what's going on as well in the community around Hazleton and West Hazleton.
The team plans to begin streaming next Monday on Radiozonasegreta.com. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
Actually sounds like a cool idea. Coming up on News 13, you may have woke up to some snow this morning, but will we get any more? We'll tell you in News 13 weather. But first, local seniors learning ways to prevent being scammed by con artists. We'll have the tips just ahead on News 13. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily number 188, Big 4, 1048, Quinto 40073, and the treasure hunt 12, 15, 18, 21, and 22. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, Hazleton Power will be holding a Break the Ice social at the Cole Street Ice Rink in Wilkes-Barre. Cost is $10 per person and includes admission and skate rentals, plus a portion will be donated to the American Cancer Society. Food and refreshments will also be on sale. For more information, please contact Janine at SSPTV.com. And finally, one more announcement. Vendors are now wanted for the Sons of American Legion Mountain Post 781's 5th annual flea market, Sunday, May 5th, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Cost is $10 undercover or $5 in the yard. Registration is available by calling 570-474-2161 at tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. John M. Palumbo of Hazleton. Private services will be held at the convenience of the family from the Fierro Funeral Home. Barbara A. Ottorino of Zion Grove. Services are Saturday at 10 a.m. in the Calvary Cemetery. The Damiano Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Nancy Ann Deloso of Ivins, Utah. Lukavitz Orvitzfeld Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Claire N. Michaels Sr. of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Hazel Chapel of the Crofton Hughes Funeral Home. Florence M. Shields, formerly of Philadelphia. Arrangements are by the Lehman Family Funeral Service. Veronica Rollis of Mahanoy City. Mass is Friday at 10 a.m. in the Blessed Teresa of Calcutta Parish. Friends may call at the church from 9 to 10 a.m. The Louis D. Truskowski Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And John Madej of Hazendale. Funeral is Thursday from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home at a time to be announced. Calling hours will be held prior to the services. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages.
So you get a phone call from somebody you don't know asking for money. Would you hang up? How about if it was through an email? Well, police and the Department of Aging are telling seniors to be more careful when they get those kind of calls. Christina Papa explains how scammers are preying on the elderly.
When Dana Rizzuta gets an email from someone she doesn't know asking for money, she knows what to do.
I'm checking my emails, all the ones that are in the junk. No matter what the name is, I just delete them all.
Police say crimes targeting senior citizens is a real issue that hurts many innocent people, so don't be fooled.
Don't give out any personal information. Don't discuss anything that is of a personal nature with anything or any organization that you're not familiar with who you're speaking to.
Dana says she can't be tricked, but she says she knows some older folks who may not know if they're being scammed.
I think there's other people that are very very gullible and easily, that will pulled over their eyes. But I think a lot of us senior citizens, though, are pretty savvy.
Police say don't be scammed. Respond cautiously to emails. Avoid people who ask for money. And if a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you don't know who's on the other line and you feel like you're being scammed, just hang up.
Well, I've had phone calls, on my house phone, and what I generally do is say, please take my name off your list, and I hang up on them.
If you think you have been contacted by a suspicious person, contact the police or the Elder Abuse Hotline to report the incident. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service, checking the radar. Well, back in winter again. Plenty of us woke up to a white dusting of snow this morning. As you can see, those bands of flurries continue to circulate a little to our north, but edging down into this region, so we're not done quite yet. Tonight's creative condition makes us long for some sunshine. It's by third grader Christina Gruyere, who drew her big red house and said she and her friends are outside it playing some ball. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Tonight it'll be mostly clear and cold, though, with the low all the way down to 21 degrees. For Wednesday, mostly sunny and breezy, high up to 35, but nighttime low into the teens, 19 to be exact. On Thursday, sunny with a high near 50. Things are improving, but some sprinkles or flurries overnight, low down to 33. For Friday, a chance of later snow showers changing to all rain, a high near 47. Overnight low, 29. Saturday, sunny with a high about 47 degrees. Over to Schuylkill County for tonight, mostly clear and cold, low down to 24. Now for tomorrow, sunny but breezy with a slight chance of some snow showers, maybe mixing with some rain, the high near 40, overnight low around 22. For Thursday, sunny though, an improvement, a high near 48, but a chance of rain during the overnight with a low around 37. For Friday, chance of rain continues. It'll be cloudy with a high near 47, low around freezing. And for Saturday though, an improvement, mostly sunny with a high near 50 degrees. And still ahead on News 13, it may not feel like spring out there, but yesterday was MLB's opening day. Fred Barletta with a rundown in News 13 Sports. And then, like green eggs and ham, then you'll love Seussical the musical. We'll have the preview when News 13 continues.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr.
Well, if you're a Philly fan, Yankee fan, opening day has come and gone. That was yesterday. Of course, I could say tongue-in-cheek, maybe for Yankee and Philly fans, you'd rather forget about opening day as it wasn't memorable for either team. However, the other team that a lot of people in the Hazleton area talk about, the Tampa Bay Rays, their opening day is today, and they got a key one. Joe Madden and company taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Now, I don't really know why Major League Baseball had these teams hold off. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but weather will not be a factor as they'll be playing inside Tropicana Field. Be nice and warm. I guess it would be nice and warm even if they are outside. But Joe Madden and his Rays, many people saying potentially the dark horse in the American League East. Some people say no dark horse. They're the favorites. Time will tell. Let's get it going. Anyhow, there is the matchup for today down at the Trop. And boy, I tell you what, if the Orioles are going to win, they've got to beat a good one. David Price, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League, he's on the hill for Joe Madden. And Joe Madden gets it going against the Orioles. All the way back in 2006, his very first Major League game as manager was against the Orioles. That, of course, was in Baltimore, not the Trop, so we will wait and see. Now, how about closer to home? What do we got on the schedule for you? We can tell you this. Hazleton and Pittston are going to rough it out and play tennis this afternoon. That's not going to be ideal conditions, but they will get that one in. Same thing with track. Jim Thorpe, they're down at Tamaqua, so down in the Schuylkill League, they better have the Under Armour on underneath those shorts and tank tops. As far as baseball, well, a lot of cancellations coming in. Hazleton area was supposed to have their home opener today. And you know what? Not only is it cold, but they can't get the infield thawed out. Temperature really never got up there. It's still hard as a rock, and the field is not playable. That one postponed until tomorrow. Now, as far as these other ones, we don't know. We didn't get any reports otherwise, so we're going to say, there we go. Columbia Montour at MMI, Tamaqua, Panther Valley, North Schuylkill, and Jim Thorpe. Softball, same thing. Coughlin, Hazleton area, that one is postponed. Now, no makeup date on that one. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, Monoy at Marion, Tamaqua, Panther Valley, North Schuylkill at Jim Thorpe. A lot of people asking, how about Kyle Landis and Russ Kanzler? Well, here's the deal. AAA baseball and AA baseball, they get started tomorrow. Well, actually Thursday for their two teams. Let's take a look. First of all, Kyle Landis, he'll be starting the season with the AA club of the Indians, and they're going to be having a home game against Binghamton on Thursday. Meanwhile, Kanzler and his AAA Norfolk Tide club are going to play the team he won the most valuable player of the International League with 2 years ago, the Durham Bulls. That one will be on Thursday as well. Scoreboard from yesterday. They did get games in. Schuylkill League, Williams Valley pounded out a 10-run rule win over Monoy area in a much closer game. Northern Lehigh squeaks by Tamaqua 6-5. Softball, Northwest Lehigh, 2-0 winners over Tamaqua. Tennis, Hazleton area got upended by Dallas. And on the track, the boys, Monoy area, no match for Nativity. And I guess you could basically say the same thing on the girls' side. Almost identical scores there. If you're going out to watch any of the games, stay warm. If you're watching them on TV, well, you'll be nice and cozy. Hey, how hungry are you? Tonight, the most popular wing night in town is up at Bottlenecks. That's right. They've got the area's best wings, and every Tuesday, they're just $9.95 for all you can eat. All the delicious flavors. You can have as many as you like. You can't go wrong, and they are delicious. Up at Bottlenecks, every Tuesday. They sponsor us not only on Tuesdays, but it's a great place.
Welcome to this week's Super segment. I'm here with Mrs. Ernst, the new vice principal of the new STEM school, and we're talking about the opening of the STEM school. Now, there were some glitches with the building, but they've all been cleared up. Can you explain what's going on?
Yes, there have been a few things that have been in the paper. As with any building project, you always run into glitches. There are always things that aren't exactly as you expected. And there was a broken pipe under the floor when they took the cement floor up, and there was a little bit of water damage when they took the facade off the front of the building. But all that has been corrected, and we are completely on schedule to open the building. We are planning on moving in on August 7th of this year, 2013. We already have our furniture delivery scheduled. Our equipment is coming for that week. So we are fully on schedule for this to open.
There are some courses that you're really excited about. Can you explain maybe some of the curriculum for the students?
Okay. The curriculum is set for next year. We will expand what we're doing this year, of course. We will have juniors next year for the first time in the program. And we're offering some exciting courses that will prepare them for their college careers in the STEM field. We are offering organic chemistry, biochemistry, microbiology as a standalone course, genetics, pharmacology, JavaScript for computer languages, some computer design courses, anatomy and physiology, 2 sections of that so that we can really cover all the content that we haven't been able to cover in the past at the high school, only offering 1 semester of that.
Perfect. And then all of the classes also depend on what the students want to take. So it's really, you know, teachers will teach what the students are looking forward to learning.
Yes, students will be scheduling courses by the end of April. They should be done scheduling, so we'll know what they picked and where their interests are. And students can stay on a track. If they know they're definitely going into something in medicine, they will take mostly the biologies and the chemistry courses. But if they're not sure, they could really mix things up. Take a JavaScript, take a biochemistry, take a microbiology or anatomy and physiology, because it's very hard as a young person to know what you want to do with your life.
So just one more time again, the school is set to open
August 7th, 2013, and we're all very excited about it and are completely sure that it will open on time and the students will be in this next school year.
Very good. Thank you so much for meeting with us. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's this week's super segment. We'll see you guys next week.
And finally for now, time to put on your big striped hat. The Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts is doing what it does best, putting on a musical for and by kids. Stephanie Gorney with a fun preview of Seussical.
His books captured the minds of people of all ages all over the world with famous lines such as, "From here to there, from there to here, funny things are everywhere." And funny things will soon be hitting the stage at the J.J. Ferreira Performing Arts Center right here in Hazleton. A group of children and teenagers will be performing Seussical, which incorporates music and features over 15 stories written by Dr. Seuss.
The play is about Horton the Elephant, one of Dr. Seuss's great characters. He is faced with 2 troubles throughout this musical. He has to save his friend Jojo and all the Who's in Whoville, and he also has to guard an abandoned egg left by Maisie the bird.
The actors and actresses have been putting in many hours of hard work over the past couple of months. However, although this production has taken a lot of time, they do not seem to mind because acting is one of their passions.
So much fun because you get to be with all the kids and they all love doing it, and you're doing it with everyone that likes to do the same thing that you do.
I do a lot of plays here. I mean, it's a really good place.
This play is a fun and family event that people of all ages will enjoy. Everyone's favorite Dr. Seuss characters will make an appearance in the show.
Who doesn't like Seussical? It's about all the books they have. There's Yertle the Turtle, there's Vlad Vladikov, and a bunch more people.
It's a really good family show. I mean, it's for kids and adults. It's Dr. Seuss, so everyone knows the story.
The play is going to take place Friday, April 4th through Saturday, April 6th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, April 7th at 3 p.m. All are welcome and encouraged to come out and enjoy the entertaining production. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
Looks like fun, and those kids are terrific. Well, that's News 13 for your Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch this newscast again with rebroadcast throughout tonight, or just go to News 13's website any old time, SSPTV.com, where you'll always find the local and regional news you need and the community news you want. For the entire News 13 team, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Have a great night.